couple of days ago, I had my two little grandsons over who are 9 and 11, and we just had the day making a Christmas fruitcake. And each had turns in putting the butter in and the sugar and, you know, the flour and all the spices and things like that. And I did a little video of it so I could show my daughter, you know, just as a memory and things like that. And as I was having a look at it on my computer, it really dawned on me that the most important thing for, well, my grandchildren, which is probably no different than anyone else's grandchildren, is to really have time with us. And they're more than happy just to hang around the Mixmaster and have turns at putting things in and high-fiving me when, you know, they tipped the brown sugar out and was compacted and it came out in a little mound. And it made me think that it's the simple things that these guys really need from us. And I don't think it's the going to the big expense of buying them big toys or big expensive toys. I think it's time with us that they treasure. And there's been so many times that my little guys will say, "Oh, you're the best Gigi there is because you get up and you play with us," or, you know, we'll play in the pool and things like that. And when they talk about the things that we do together, it's not about what I've bought them. It's been about the things that we've done together. Look, I'm not saying that when I arrive at their house, it's not, "Oh, you know, what did you bring? You know, oh, you've got biscuits. Oh, can we have one?" Or things like that. It's not about that. That's just fairly normal. Even my own kids still do that. But it dawned on me that it's really the time that they just love. It's a time with John, my husband, where, you know, they muck around or they sit on the lounge and they'll just watch silly car shows and eat sausages in bread, what we call a piggy in the blanket, thing without a vegetable, as a, you know, just as a one-off. And they're the most important things, I think. And the only time that we all get that is really on school holidays. So I think for me, as I'm not working as much, this year has been really lovely for me because I have been able to spend more time over at their house with them, playing games and playing hide and seek in the pool and Marco Polo and all those sort of things. And then I'll go in and we'll quickly change our clothes and we'll jump up on the bed and we'll watch a movie together and things like that. They're the memories that not only that I will carry, but I think they will carry. And when you talk to them about things that they really enjoyed, it's been about time out with the family at the beach or just having time and not necessarily shopping. I'm not, you know, if I said to them, "Let's go shopping and I'll buy you something," "Oh, we're in the car and we're off and we'll have our morning tea or afternoon tea while we're out." It just seems to be the other things that are the things that they really crave for. And not being on your phone while you're watching a movie with them, I've noticed they will keep looking over and they might say, "Oh, Gigi, don't be on your phone while the movie's on." And it's a real, I might think, okay, I might not be interested in a cartoon movie, but they are. And it's the quality time that I find that they're craving more than anything else than, "What did you bring me? What can I have?" A toy that's now just going to be lying out in the yard, punctured or broken. Sebi, my eldest little grandson, said to me the other day, he said, "We're so lucky to have you, Gigi, because there's other grandparents out there that don't even spend time with their grandchildren. But I think for those that can't because they feel that they've had their time, they've raised their children and, you know, grandchildren just taking up the time now that they want for themselves," which I certainly get and I certainly understand, that I'm no different, that sometimes I just can't wait for them to go home because the house is a mess and it's very noisy, but that's just like it used to be when my own children were little. And I don't think we get impatient, but we just get used to having that quiet time and our time again. But for them, it is the most important time that we could have. I've also found that, like on school holidays, that because everybody's working, and they'll have a few days in like vacation care, or they're off with scouts, that if I can pick up the slack maybe one day a week, or one day a fortnight, I think not only does it take a bit of the pressure off the money having to pay for the vacation care that the kids have got to pay for, but it also gives them time with me. Now, I remember when I was working and my girls were little, my mum lived down the Gold Coast, and I would drive them down there, and they would have like a whole week down with their nanny. And even now, it's their memories. Now, Mum didn't have a lot of money, but I tell you what, Mum made sure that every day they did something, whether she got a fishing rod out for them and they had a fish, or they were down the beach, or they were down the pool swimming, and Mum always got in the water with them, and they raced in the pool and things like that. And my mum was in her 60s then when the kids were little. She still just, and she had, she was on a, well, I don't know if she was on a walking stick then, but she'd had quite a few hip replacements, and she had osteomyelitis, so she didn't walk very well. But I tell you what, and she was in a lot of pain, but I tell you what, she did get up and she went every morning with those kids regardless. And, she would take them for a cheap dinner somewhere, and they'd all get dressed up, and Mum would give them a little bit of perfume, and they were only little, they were sort of not even 10 or whatever by then, they were still very little. But those memories that my kids have of their nanny is really important, and I think I'm hoping that my grandkids have the same memories for me. And I see a lot of grandparents with their grandchildren, and it's really, really lovely. And I understand that there's not everybody does get that opportunity to have time with their grandchildren, and I'm sure that their heart aches for them, and I'm sure that there's some rifts in families that their grandchildren aren't allowed to go and see their grandparents for whatever reason. And I think the only ones that are missing out in that instance are the poor grandchildren. And I think that sometimes adults have to step up to the plate and realise that while they're bickering and they're fighting and they're cranky with each other, they're very much missing out as well. But I think the little guys miss out probably more, and they don't have that memory. It's like my husband John, like he will say, I don't remember my grandparents at all. I don't ever remember seeing them or anything like that. Whereas I did spend a lot of time with my grandparents. They lived on Magnetic Island up in Queensland on the Great Barrier Reef. We would drive down and we would have literally 6 weeks of the school holidays there. And we didn't do anything. They had a TV, but that was it. But we spent a lot of time at the beach. We spent a lot of time mowing the lawn with my grandfather, or weeding, or painting, or playing golf with him, trying to beat him at golf, and riding our bikes, and just simple things like that. I think sometimes I also feel like too, when the little guys come over, that they sometimes just want to watch TV or watch Minecraft or YouTube and whatever. But I feel that they can do that anytime, and the time is for me as well. And sometimes I'll just say there's no TV today, or there's no TV for the next couple of hours, and let's go for a walk, or let's go out, or let's do something. So I don't know if, as grandparents, and it's coming up Christmas, that if you have got a rift in the family, that there's any way of being able to mend it so you can get hold of those lovely grandchildren and have some time with them, and they have some time with you, because I do feel that it makes for a very healthy relationship and lots of lovely memories for them as well as for you. And I think it's heartwarming for you to be able to do that. So come Christmas, when we get our fruit cake out that we made, the three of us, and we go to cut it. We can say, we made this for Christmas, and I know that they'll be very excited and very happy. Look, the kitchen looked like a bomb had gone off in it by the time they left. We had flour everywhere. We'd spilt the milk. Nothing had a lid on it. There was flour all over the floor, but the cake looked great. And once it was cleaned up, it looked like it was a very professional bake. So it will be very interesting to see what the cake does taste like, but I'm sure it's going to be lovely. We made it from an Australian, well, is she a baker? I don't know. Her name is Nagy, and she has the most fabulous cookbooks. She's put two out now. She's put one out called Dinner, and then she put one out called Tonight. I'll actually leave a link for you down below. We all use her recipes all the time. They are just the most magnificent recipes. Plus she explains everything as she goes along, and there's heaps of stuff in the index that you would never think of. So, but yes, she does a fabulous Christmas cake, and a very easy one. So that's our Christmas cake this year, and at the moment we do just have to decorate it and everything. So I will, Christmas when we decorate, I'll take a photo and show you. But today's video really for me was about to say that maybe this is a really, if you don't get time with the grandchildren, maybe it's a reach out to your kids to say, hey, can I have the grandkids for a day? Can we go cooking? Because I think it will just enrich everybody's life just so much more if you can get hold of those little guys and just have some time with them, regardless of the mess. The mess can be cleaned up, but the memories are there. So what do you do with your grandchildren that you love doing with them? And I would also love to hear from anyone else that has some tips on how to entertain them on the school holidays that doesn't cost very much money, that you can all enjoy doing, and they're just memories to carry forward as the years go by. So if you would like to like and subscribe to my video, I would really appreciate that. And also, more importantly, if you have any comments below, I'd love to hear anything that you've got to say on it. And I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.